Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars. My name is Colin, and I'm here to talk about Star Wars Outlaws. Give my review. Star Wars Outlaws has been out for a couple of months. If you haven't had the chance to play yet, it is on the store, and I believe it's on sale, actually. This game takes place between the events of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. There's a 3-year gap, and this is where the game takes place. There is a smuggler that you play. Her name's Kay Vess. She has a creature called Nyx, and they go on this adventure where Kay is trying to make a name for herself, and I think she does in some ways. The planets that you end up going into are Cantanica, which is the home planet of where we see in The Last Jedi with Canto Bight. You have Tashara and Akiva. Those are both new planets. And then you have Kajimi, which we see in Rise of Skywalker, and Tatooine. Those are the 5 planets that you go. You can't free roam on the on the planet where Canto Bight is at, but you do go there for different missions. And then you've got the different crime syndicates as well. You have the Pikes, you have Crimson Dawn, you got the Hutts, you have the Ashiga clan, which is introduced in this game. They live on Kajimi, and then you also have the Sixth Kin, which is kind of like your generic standard criminal crime family. Nothing really special about them. They're not really a main clan in the story. And then you have the Zarek Besh, which is a fake crime syndicate, which is created by the ISB, for the Empire, and they did that as like a cover to learn more about the crime families and kind of wipe them out, and and the whole point of it was to get more info on the Rebel Alliance and capture some of them and stuff, and we see that later on in the story. I think there was a lot of interesting things about the story. I love the tie-ins. We definitely see Lando. We see Darth Vader. Lando plays a small role, but you do get to hang out with him and go on different missions and stuff. And then in the DLC, you also see Lando that's kind of part of this gambling ring, and then you get involved on this adventure with him that includes the Rebel Alliance. Darth Vader, you see him for a brief second, but it's pretty cool. Again, spoilers if you haven't played the game yet. But here's some fun facts about each planet, and then I'll go into my full review of the game. On Kajimi, there is a creature called the Henku, and they share a lot of resemblance to banthas and may share some ancestry with banthas. They basically are banthas, but they're white, and they're on Kajimi. It's really interesting. Kajimi is this snow planet that we see in Rise of Skywalker. And then there is Akiva. Akiva is like this jungle planet. It's really cool. Fun fact is that we actually meet a young Snap Wexley that we see later on in the sequels. He was left on the planet by his mom, and he's left with his aunts. And while she's doing that, while she left him on the planet with his aunts, she joins the Rebel Alliance as a transport pilot. And then on Tatooine, this was really fascinating to me, is that Tashi Station is not even a mile away from the Lars homestead. You can actually go to the Lars homestead. You can actually go to Tashi Station. You can actually go inside and walk around and stuff. It's really cool. And then we also learned that there is a special section in Mos Eisley for when Jabba would leave the town to visit his subjects. So there's like this area where you walk in. It's like, you have 2 Gamorrean guards, like, standing guard, and then you walk past them, and then you walk up, and then you see this this kind of small palace in a way. So I found that was interesting. And we'll get into the importance of the different crime families and stuff because that does play a big part in this game. And then we go to Tashara. The climate was formed by strong winds. The largest and oldest city of in the oldest city, Amiragana, was built inside one of these old giant rock structures to shield its citizens from the high and strong winds. That planet's pretty cool. That planet's definitely very. It just looks clay, and people shaped it. It's so cool. But the last one is Cantanica. It's known to fans as the home planet of the Casino City. Seen the Last Jedi, Cantabite. You actually don't get to go into the casino and see everything, but it is still pretty cool. But yeah, let me break down of what it's like in the actual game. So basically, you've got the 4 big crime syndicates. You got the Pikes, you got the Shiga clan, you have the Hutts, and then you have Crimson Dawn. You actually do see Kira in this as well, which is pretty cool. And they have this ranking type system. It's a nemesis system, something on the lines of that. But basically, you do certain jobs for the different clans. At the end of each job, you have the chance if you want to betray or keep word with the clan that you made a deal with, and that's going to help the reputation system. It's called the reputation system. Sorry. But with the reputation system, that's going to help you in the long run by doing missions, because if you want to do a mission for Crimson Dawn and you're not good with them, it can go either 2 ways. Either they'll, put a bounty on your head like a black mark, and they'll chase you across the galaxy until you get your reputation up with them. And if you fail a mission, your reputation goes down. When I got to the end of the story of the main campaign, I was good with the Hutts. So and they helped me on a certain mission. So it is good to to find the right crime family to have a good reputation with. It is difficult to be good with all of them. That is something about that. Let's see. One of our YouTubers say, got so bored with the game, all the same missions, just on different planets or for different fractions. So if you are doing, you can do jobs for the different crime families, right? If you do the different missions for the crime family, sometimes the job can be the same thing, but then you have the overall different kind of side stories in a way, like your side quests, and those are really interesting because sometimes they add to the lore of Star Wars and such. What was great and not so great about this game was, and I gave this game like a 7 out of 10. And I think one big thing is the customization aspect of it, because this is a big open world game, right? Why would you not have it where the option was where you can make your own character? I think that would have been amazing. I voiced my opinion about this, but not being able to create a character that you want to make and not have that option was very disappointing. I think Kves was a really interesting character. I think she was great. However, if we're talking about the first open world Star Wars game, as some people say, I really wish that it would have been through the eyes of the fans as where we could make our own character. I think that's where the ball was dropped on that. And then the story was pretty decent. Overall, I don't think it really affected the galaxy in such a big way. Because if you take the story out, it's not like it's going to, change the way we look at Star Wars. So it was definitely an add-on story. I thought the characters were great. There were actually a decent amount of really cool characters in this. You've got ND5, which is a old separatist commando droid. And then you have Jalen and his brother. That was a whole really cool, interesting, a very interesting dynamic. You have Jalen Vrax on the left, and you got Slero on the right. Slero actually made the fake crime syndicate of Zarek Besh to get info on the rebels and stuff, and play more of the underworld game. And Darth Vader allowed it if he was able to find rebels. And in the game, you may find that that's not entirely true, but Jalen and Slero both came from Corellia. They were royalty, as we find out, and that was a really interesting take of seeing someone come from Corellia, and they're like, they're not on the same lines of Han Solo, where they were kind of doing things to survive. Like, they were born into it. And then you find out that Slero betrayed his entire family in order to get to this point of power, because that's all he cared about. And then you have Bib Fortuna was a really interesting character to come into this game and see him do things, just because you see the very early on that he really wants to be in power, and you kind of see he's kind of doing things behind Jabba's back, and then later on, after Jabba, he gets killed by Leia, and then Jabba dies, and then Bib survives the giant explosion of the sail barge, and then he becomes in charge of Tatooine and the crime family there. But in this game, you see those seeds are planted, so it was really interesting to see that. And then you have Kira. It was awesome seeing Kira again, and she's not as as her sunshine self that we see in Solo. She's definitely got a darker soul in this one. She's more dark. She's more grounded, and then you've got your interesting characters like Bosnak. We first saw him in the Solo movie, not like him the character, but the species. But it was really cool to go to these different planets and just explore, learn more about the underworld. There's also these different docking stations just outside of Akiva and Tashara. You can land on there, actually explore the station. They have this giant cantina and stuff, and then you can get contracts and stuff like that. That aspect was really, really cool. And then you can upgrade your ship, your blaster speeder. Again, I think they're lacking in the customization department, but yeah, no. Overall, I think the game was decent. Again, customization played a big part. I think the mechanics are okay. I think when you're sneaking up on Imperials and just different enemies, I think that could, be done better, because there's moments where you can drive right past them on your speeder and they don't even blink an eye, and then you get right next to them and they're not fully turned, but they're like this, and from a real perspective, you could definitely see me coming, but I guess the mechanics aren't just they're just like, oh, I don't see you, but in reality, you could definitely see someone. So I thought that was a interesting take on it. But yeah, no, I like the overall story. I think it's fun. No one in the world has beat the game yet 100% either. That was a big thing too. That the game has not been beaten. That's including the campaign. Well, at this point, I hope everyone is beating the campaign, but I'm talking about all the side missions and everything. No one has been 100% or has come out and said it. They have the records. It's crazy that no one has beat it 100%. Beyond Bombad says, is this game that you would recommend buying a full price or wait for sale? I would say, so I bought it at full price. And there's also 2 DLCs. there's the one DLC that was with Lando, and then there's the one that's coming out in a month or two with Hondo Onaka. I think that was my big thing about this game is when they announced that Hondo was coming to it. I was excited because Hondo Onaka is such a cool character. I used to see him every day at work, so it would be really, really cool to hang out with Hondo and see what he's up to. And it sounds from the description of the DLC, Hondo will be making a deal with you because he found this treasure. Sounds like a story from Star Wars Rebels, but only time will tell. So I paid full price. Now knowing everything I know, I would probably wait until it's on sale. But it's a good game. If you want to wait, I would wait. And soon I'm going to do my review for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle because that was an amazing game. That's probably one of my favorite games of all time now. It's really up there. Like the story was phenomenal. But yeah, there you have it. Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then let's see. Wait for sale. I bought at full price and definitely not worth it. It was glitchy as well. If you bought it at launch, yeah, I could see that happening. Just because of most games are like that. Again, that's no excuse though. So I understand of where you're coming from. I would definitely wait until the price is down. They are having a sale on it right now. My friend just told me the other day that the price came down drastically, as he put it. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll go and check it out." So, but yeah. And then what faction did I side with the most? I don't know. I feel like I'm a sucker for the Hutt clan. I just, there's something classic about it, and you bet I went to Jabba's palace. As soon as I had the chance to go, I went to Jabba's palace. Didn't see Max Rebo. He's not even there yet. And I kind of knew that going in just because of the timeline, but I was like, man, come on, man. But yeah, so yeah, I would probably have to say the Hutts. But yeah, overall, decent game. What's next for Star Wars games? That's the question. Jedi 3 is in development. It's going to be the third and final game of Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, which is pretty cool. There's also that game of Star Wars Eclipse that is also still in development, as they say, but they keep pushing the date back. My guess is they'll probably announce some other Star Wars game this year. There's also Star Wars Hunters. It's kind of like it's not like Marvel Rivals. It's kind of like Overwatch. And I know Overwatch and Marvel Rivals is very similar, but with that game, it's, I don't know. You have to play with a team and stuff. It's okay. I played it in the summer of last year. We got another question. Which version of the game did you snag at launch? I've wanted to test the game out, but I don't know which version would be the best to get. I think the DLC is worth it. I think that it actually took a while to play through. I will say I would maybe wait until the Hondo Onaka DLC comes out and then get it from there. Again, I think the game was decent. I think there were some things that they dropped the ball on. I like the overall story. Also, if you are a big fan of open world and free roam and all of that, you'll definitely love this, especially if you're going to Tatooine. Honestly, it's amazing on how much they paid attention to detail. It's absolutely incredible, especially walking through Mos Eisley. That was really, really, really cool to see. I don't like how they don't have the Tusken Raiders in there. You see them for a brief second, but they're not how you would think of where if you were walking down the canyons and then you have Tusken Raiders kind of all around you. They don't have that. I don't know if they did it because of in the Book of Boba Fett they were kind of more perceived as more of a peaceful people and not what we see from A New Hope and stuff like that and Attack of the Clones. So that was a really interesting take on that. But I am hoping that we get more like this. I really hope this isn't their end of open world games. I hope we get one where we can actually customize our character. I've been saying for a long time, I really, really want a Grand Theft Auto type style Star Wars game. Not to the extent of Grand Theft Auto, but more like, if I want to be a smuggler, I can be a smuggler. If I want to be a moisture farmer, I can be a moisture farmer. Just like I just feel like this whole realm of the open world stuff is such untapped potential, and it's right in their grasp. And I just really hope with the next one that they really nail it. So, here's hoping. There's so much potential opportunity. So, yeah, here's hoping. But yeah, so most likely we'll probably get a other game announcement at Star Wars Celebration. The next big thing in the Star Wars, universe is happening is you got Star Wars Celebration, you've got Andor Season 2, you got the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, you got Visions Volume 3, you have the Hondo Onaka DLC happening in this game. But yeah, no, there is a lot to look forward to. Oh, hang on. There's one more. There was a place in Tatooine that I fell into and couldn't get out. Had to reset from the previous save. There's a place on Tashara. No, yeah, on Tashara that's like that. Like you climb up this thing, you like slide down, and then it's like this puzzle thing that you got to solve, and that took me a bit to figure out. But yeah, overall decent game. Looking forward to of what's next in store for Star Wars. I know we'll definitely find out more at Star Wars Celebration. David and James are both going. I won't be there because it's too close to the birth of my son, but I will be at the next one. Thank you again to everyone that's part of our Patreon. If you love the Clone Wars and you love some behind the scenes stuff, go and sign up for our Patreon. We got, great people like, Hunter and Christian, Star, Cap, Josh, Holloway is on there. Like we just love talking about the Clone Wars. So if you're big fans of the Clone Wars and stuff, go to our Patreon. We got some really, really cool Clone Wars commentary on there. But that's it for today. Check out my review for Star Wars, not Star Wars, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That review will be coming here shortly. Again, love you all. May the Force be with you always.